Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the ministry. I got a good one for y'all today because we got us a 13-part word. Oh my God. And it's not a word, it's a song playlist. What? I'm about to explain it to you, okay? So we'll see how this runs, and we'll see if we can get the first one on here or not. But I haven't really been a song reviewer. That's a lot of things that I see a lot of other people do, but I kind of liked it, and I'm going to tell you why. I've always been a writer, and when I used to write fiction and all that kind of stuff, I used to use songs to enhance the storylines that I was writing. So for me to have songs in these ministry words and in relation to what it is that I talk about, it's almost bringing me back to a cadence of what I used to do when I used to write. So now having songs and lyrics that line up is beautiful to me, and I've been always wondering, but I never really vocalized that I really wanted that from the Lord. So he started to give me a few of them, and you saw in previous videos that he had given me some, but now with my last consecration, I came out of it and he blessed me. And this is a little bit deeper. God has been giving me a set of songs, and I've chosen not to share that set of songs that he's given me because they were way too personal and way too close to me. And I wanted to share something with you guys that still depicted the same reverence, the same emotional fortitude that the songs that he's kept me or kept close to my heart have. And he gave me last night an entire album of songs that is a throwback for me. I haven't listened to this album since 2002. I haven't listened to a lot of the songs that I used to listen to when my mother was alive since then. If they come up, they come up. But God's been bringing me back that nostalgic thing because during that time frame in my life, just before my mother passed and around that time, I used music to fill the space. My mother was at home with me all the time, but for a year she was out of the house. And during that time, I would listen to music. But we were always listening to music on Sunday mornings anyway. There's the station 95.9. On Sundays, they played like soul music, jazz, all that kind of stuff. So that was our thing. And in some cases, I stopped listening to that station after my mother passed away. It was just too close. But the songs, when I used to listen to these songs, or a lot of songs that I used to listen to, I didn't have an emotional connection to any of them because I hadn't experienced anything. To me, I was listening to it for the cadence of the song, the story that I heard, the mini movie that played in my mind that took me a place when I listened to the song. And I told you in a previous video that I used to mentally create stories in my head. So it was easy. Second, I would listen to a song, the story, the movie, the what have you, the music video. I used to get mad when the music video wasn't like what I saw in my vision, actually, because I mentally had made it so much bigger, so much better, so much whatever in my head. So when I saw it, it kind of was disappointing. So this particular album was an album, I believe it came out in 2002. It's called Thomas's. Let's talk about it. I remember I played this record on repeat. And this was what I used to do when I got a record at that time frame, when people used to actually listen to CDs. Lo and behold, um, I would, if I liked a record when I bought it, I would play it on repeat for about 1 to 2 weeks. Week 2, it usually started to fade off and go into a mix of other records. But this particular record, I didn't know it had a sound to it, the melodies to it, the way that it flowed. It had a beautiful flow to it. And I just stopped listening to it. I mean, when you mix it with the rest of your records and then you slowly get away from listening to those records, you just stop listening to certain songs. And then they just fade into the background and you just don't listen to them. And sometimes when the artist comes up, like, I've been wondering where, like, oh, this artist, where they been at? Let me go look them up. But this record right here, God led me to this, and I'm going to tell you how he did it. Yesterday, early in the day, I randomly had a thought where I heard one of the tracks off this record. It was the title track that was the most popular at the time because it was the first single off of this record. And I remember when it came out, I was the type of person that I used to record my music videos because we had cable at the time, and I recorded all of my music videos. So if I liked a record, I would record the music video. And I know that this particular song was on that set of music videos. And I just heard the tune of it. And I was like, man, I ain't heard that in a while. The Lord brought my attention to this song in 2020. No, early 2021. Because I remember sitting on my bed and the song crossed my mind, and I watched the video and I listened to one of the other tracks from the album, but I didn't never listen to the album. Forgot about it, left it alone, went into my usual music if I listened to music at that time. Since I've been walking with God, I don't really listen to music like that unless I get an unction. Let me just sit and listen to some music because I want to just give my mind a break. But yesterday, this song popped in my head. I heard the melody. It's a very poppy song. And I'm like, oh, let me go look that video up. And I started listening to it. When I started listening to this song by Carl Thomas called She Is, I was like, whoa. And I'm going to come back to it. I listened to it twice. And I was like, whoa. Because God was giving me chills on that. I was like, whoa. And see, what God's been doing to me lately, when he leads me to a song, he's usually not leading me to the song because he wants me to listen to that song. He's trying to lead me to something else. He did it with Cassie. He did it with Christina Milian recently. And now he's doing it with Carl Thomas. The entry point was to get me to listen to She Is. But the point was to get me to listen to the whole album. She Is comes off of Carl Thomas's Let's Talk About It album. I've already explained the pre-contents as to why I liked the whole album. Then I start listening to each song on the record, and I was like, oh my God, this is it. This album depicts all the songs and the feelings I felt from the other set of songs that I felt were too close to my heart to release to you guys. So God not only gave me this record, he gave me another one of Carl Thomas's records that is called So Much Better. So Much Better has a song on it that's going to be in this list. But I'm telling you right now, if you are a kingdom spouse that is waiting on your prodigal, meaning you were in relationship with this person, okay? You've been in relationship with this person. And you're waiting for them to come back. The album So Much Better, that's your record. because that depicts the feelings that the man has as he's trying to come back. This one depicts for the woman, kind of, at least the way that I'm going to read them, depicts for the woman that is waiting on the man to come. Okay? So I wanted to express that. And then there's one more song God gave me. As I was going through these songs, it popped up in, the songs that be underneath the videos. It was Dave Hollister's One Woman Man. And after I went through all the songs, it came out to like 13 songs. I'm like, God, how are we doing this? And he gave me a sequence in which he wants me to go through each individual song. So we're going to do that. And I also have something else I'm going to give you, because God gave me a partial word yesterday morning, but completed it at a point sometime yesterday evening. And I didn't understand it until I wrote it out this morning. And I'm going to insert that as well as one of the parts. But what I'm telling you right now is I'm starting a playlist called Songs That Remind Me of You. That actually is a trick title because it's titled after the song by Dale, or Daly, however you want to look at it, called Songs That Remind Me of You. And that's going to be the playlist. I'm going to give you the reviews, but I'm going to also do something I have not done. I'm going to link the songs directly underneath. So if you want to play the song, you can either choose to play it, or I'm going to link the songs directly between each review for their songs. Okay? So that's how we're going to work this. So we're about 12 minutes in, and I'm going to do song 1. So hold on, I'll be right back with it. Okay, so I found the first song. The first song is called Dreamer. Dreamer is a song that's from the perspective of your God ordained spouse, coming from his childhood view on life as he was dreaming to become what he is today. Your spouses have had dreams, goals, visions, and a lot of them either had not reached them, or during the process, they went through certain things. But as they were kind of trying to find balance, for you that is a person waiting on a prodigal, some of you may have been the girl that they were involved with as they came into their status. And because of it, the pressure of being in that lifestyle, they kind of went into a Darnell Jones, Where I Want to Be type scenario, where they wanted to go leave so they wild oats to figure out whether they wanted to be with you or not. Got hooked up with a counterfeit, went back and forth, and then realized that they wanted to be with you type scenario. Others of you haven't come into contact with your God ordained spouse yet. And because you haven't come into contact with your God ordained spouse, I've been hearing this from a lot of men, especially listening to social media. I listen to a lot of pastors and all of this kind of stuff. I think it was a financial person that gave this advice, though. He pretty much was saying that men have a tendency, they will not settle down until they get their life in order, meaning their dreams. They have enough money not only to provide for themselves, but to get the house, to have the car, to cover a wife, to cover the kids, all this kind of stuff. And not only that, but to live comfortably and all of this type of stuff. Some of these men have been kind of in that headspace, and the reason it's taken so long for them to get to you is they were doing that. They were getting these things in order, making sure to get those things in order. Depending on what status your guy has, some of them have gotten to that level. They've gotten a career. They've hit their dreams. Now they're looking back and they're saying, hey, I got all of this, but I have nobody to share it with. And they were trying to share it with somebody that was only there for the environment, but not for them. And they're coming into the realization, hey, I need somebody that's going to be there for me. Dreamer is a song that is about the journey for them to get from the realization that they had a dream to now. It's like their reflective point, okay? And that's what this song is. So it starts off, I used to love to dream out loud. A lot of your husbands are dreamers. Anybody that is called to marry somebody in creative entertainment, any level of influence, they were dreaming of this. Just the same way that you have been dreaming about your dreams for years too. Whatever it is that you're called to, your spouse has already been there. I'm thinking of I do not know the exact scripture number, but it's 727 in the Bible. That talks about God has sent a messenger before you. A lot of you have gifts. A lot of you have talents. The thing that you are called to do, your husband's been doing it for years. And because of that, he has a view on it, and he has a protective understanding of it that you may not. And because of that, he was sent ahead of you to do that. So he had to dream it first. So some of them, they came from situations that were bad, or as what's the word I'm looking for? It was, they had to fight to get to where they are. Some of them came from poverty, the ghetto, all that kind of stuff. And especially my ladies that have been, you're of an ethnic persuasion, you know this. And your husband is of an ethnic persuasion, you know this. To stand in the middle of a crowd and everybody would see me, but I was just a little project child. That's what I meant. And I was just a dreamer. As I proceed to reach my teens, he's literally telling his story. Responsibility was far, it seemed. In my heart, I really wanted to sing. Them coming into the realization of what they were called to do. And I gave my heart to my dreams. Some of your spouses, they've given everything to their dreams. I remember hearing my God-ordained spouse say in an interview that any woman that he was involved with was almost going to have to take his love for music as the mistress in their relationship, because that's what was going to be on the side of them. Next to her, his passion was his music. For some of you, whatever your God-ordained spouse is doing, the thing that they do That is the thing they are in love with. That's why a counterfeit was able to slip in, because of the fact that they never put anything else higher or on the same level as their career. Whatever it was that they were reaching for career-wise, that was their idol. Everything else came below it. So yeah, they could have about all the women that they wanted to, or have one woman that they went back and forth with, because of the fact that they were married to their career. They were married to whatever the thing was that they were called to do. So, as he's saying here, and I gave my heart to my dreams. The dream had the heart. Their endeavors had the heart. Counterfeit ain't never have the heart. Never. But you threaten that. When I see you, I want to thank you. Let me shake your hand and tell you I appreciate you. Just for this chance, when I see you, I want to thank you. I want to shake your hand. I appreciate you just for this chance. For some of them, they know whatever they were called to do, it is a blessing that they're even standing there. Because of that, they have a level of gratitude towards whatever it is that they are doing, whether it's music, whether it's real estate, whether it's acting, whether it's politics, whether it's whatever it is that gives them influence and they were passionate about and they actual change coming from. And whoever it was that put them on, whoever it was that stood by their side, those are the ones that they see. Those are the ones that they thank. Those are the ones that they shake their hands for. And to their followers, fans, stands, whatever you call it, they are thankful to all of these people, mentors, all of that, because they have a level of gratitude. Now everybody knows my name. My nights are famous, but my days are the same. Key. Some of your God-ordained spouses, they've gotten there. They've gotten the echelons. They've gotten whatever it is. For those of y'all that are creators and you know that you're called to marry somebody that has influence, the world sees them. Their nights full of being famous. Doing the shows, being in the movies, going to the premieres, going and doing all of this kinds of stuff, smiling in front of the camera, everything else. But see, the thing about it is, they have not had somebody in their life to walk with them in their day-to-day, because their day-to-day is a very mundane life outside of the fame. And people don't realize that these people are people too. But you did. You may not know this, but it's real. Because that's exactly how you make me feel. Every day I'm dreaming. Oh, tell me what I can't do, because I can always find a way to prove that you can always count on me, even though I lay awake and dream. For some of them, they've never had someone that they seriously thought about being in a relationship with. I mean, to the point of marriage. to the point of I can settle down with this person, and they are at a point now that they're literally laying in bed at night. And some of you know this because some of you have been seeing videos, and some of you have been getting word confirmations that have been saying they aren't sleeping. They aren't getting sleep. They are restless. They're laying awake at night because they're trying to figure out, how am I going to bring this person into this world that I live in and be able to balance the two. They've never really had to, because that part of their life was something I heard Jim Carrey say something. I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, that he said that his life became immersed in the performance of being Jim Carrey, that being himself became a different form of performance because his actual day-to-day life became something he had to perform to be, because of the fact that he felt most at home and most safe and secure in the way that he had to act to become the Jim Carrey everybody else saw him as. But nobody saw the real him because he almost turned the performance into his day-to-day life. So his reality was his career, was his dream, was his what have you. So being in the day-to-day, that didn't exist. And for some of your spouses, they just existed in their day-to-day. But when you came into the picture, it left them with sleepless nights because they're actually questioning. They're like, wait, I want to have somebody that I actually care about, that I'm going to actually have to focus my energy and literally split it. They never had that. They never felt that way. And that's what scared them. And that's probably one of the things that has caused them to delay so much, because they're like, am I ready to have that responsibility of shifting my time and my attention to balance two things? It wasn't so hard to balance their life because they were numb to their day-to-day. They knew they had to be in the spotlight, so they enjoyed the performance of it. That gave them an invigoration and excitement. But their day-to-day was mundane, so that wasn't anything they were worried about. But now with you, they're like, whoa, something else gives me that feeling. So now I have to really think about this because I want to give this new thing that attention to, the attention that it deserves. So it leaves them awake at night, not only dreaming of how they're going to balance the two, but dreaming of you as well. When I see you, okay, it's the same verse over again. I'm here because you've got me through, made me understand those things that I couldn't do. And I'll show my love and make you see everything I had without you. It should never be. They are looking at their lives prior to knowing that you were going to be in it, prior to you being in it. And they're saying now, wow, I don't even recognize the life that I've had, because everything I've had prior to you coming into this should have never have been. A lot of people observe celebrities, and for some of them, a select handful, the lifestyle that they live was not their lifestyle. It's the lifestyle that came with pursuing their goals. And they kind of over time slipped into the routine of the way that the game was played. But that's not really what they wanted. They were raised differently, they knew the world differently, they knew life differently. And because of that, the life that they had, they were only living a half life. But you made their life whole. And they've come to the understanding that everything they had without you, before you, it never should have been. Because you're the thing, the missing piece that balances them. I hope this has blessed you. We're coming to the end of this video, and I'm going to come back and we're going to do the breakdowns of the next several songs because we got a lot. So stay tuned.